Hello? Yeah, not bad, thank you. In 12 minutes, 10 minutes now. I do not. Yes, I do. I am about 7.5K. I finished about 125. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think something like that. Yeah. A template, yeah, yeah. No, well, I'm just looking at my game week 1 team. I technically only had one of them in Salah. I mean, I started with Calvert-Lewin, and he had a great start. It was my game week sort of 5 wild card that I think did it for me because I had Salah, Son, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, who all went on pretty good runs, and that really is what did it for me. And then my free hit a couple of weeks ago went very well. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Yeah. 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 Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. No, it didn't. Was that one where he got injured and then you probably sold him afterwards? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but they wasn't that game week? Yeah, or game week? Ooh. Um, I find it quite hard because I think this season's been very different. I think this season, I would say my captaincy's gone a lot better. I played a lot of differential captains last year, which didn't really pay off, and there were a few players, yeah, last season that I just didn't get on nearly as soon as I should, which didn't help. It took me a long time to get Bruno in, for example. So I think I've been more sort of adaptive to when players have started doing well, and I haven't messed around with my captain. It's boring, but it's played quite well. No, I haven't. I've been not aggressive.
Not captured this. Hello? Yeah, okay. I've been muted. It's just been you. It's just been you, mate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it feels like it has not rewarded aggressive people.
No, it hasn't.
Because like we said about the amount of people who've got the points, I'm looking at my players of the season are Martinez and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because they were the only people I actually got any points for at the start of the season.
Yeah, so 140k is still
from where I was. I'm happy. My aim was top 100 after not even making it to the millions until sort of 15 game weeks ago. But so you said, captaincy has been one of your more successful points.
Well, I don't think my captaincy points that I've got from my captain have been like ridiculous, but a lot of game weeks last season, I've captured the obvious player a lot, and I think at times last season I went differential when I didn't need to, and then they didn't perform when the highly owned player did. So it's more, I don't think I've done worse than other people in terms of my captaincy, but I do need to jump. So enjoy your stream and good luck in the game week. I will watch it back later. Cheers.
Thanks. Take it easy, mate. All right, just a quick jump on there. Always appreciate it. I want to start doing more of that instead of sat here just blabbing on, especially getting people who are having much better seasons than I am. One of these days, guys, I will. If you look at my career, look at this. So disappointing. It's one of them where I always say about the advice, guys. I always say I have good ideas and good suggestions, but I seldom follow them. I made a panic because what had happened, for those of you that, I'll check the chat in a minute and say hi to everyone, but for everyone that doesn't know, Taiwan, when the COVID outbreak hit the world, Taiwan was fine. And Taiwan only had a couple of like maybe 100 or 200 cases and like 6 deaths, something like that, when it all kicked off. Never locked down, never closed down. You know, they were rated the second best country in the world according to like Bloomberg for COVID prevention, and second behind New Zealand. And we've had a COVID outbreak, so no school, so we're teaching online and everything's locked down. We've had over 1,000 cases in the last few days, and then when the deadline was coming, and I'd been so tired and sorting out all of my work stuff that I just panicked, and I was just like, Bruno. Turns out it was all right, but I was planning on bringing in Joe Willock at Newcastle, and I just completely forgot. And it was like 2 minutes before deadline. I even messaged after it. I was like, oh, I should have gone Kane maybe. I could have brought Kane in for Calvert-Lewin. And I was like, Bruno. And then obviously now we're in game week 38. Bruno, in my opinion, shouldn't or won't play. So I'm kind of stuck when it comes to that. But just looking at my history, a lot of it though, it's only in the last sort of 2 years, this year and last year, I've tried to do properly and not taking ridiculous like 20 points hits every week. But so my transfer last week ended up being Bruno because everything's kicked off here. We're teaching online. I had no time to sort anything out, and I've put myself now back-to-back grey arrows. I'm 20 points off. 20 points off top 100k. Okay, I'm denied permission to my own team. There we go. Can I pick my team? There we are. Yeah, so we're gonna have a review. We can have a look back at the moves made and how I did each game week. I'll do that after we talk about, you know, everything else that you guys are chatting. So let me catch up with the chat. Krista, welcome, buddy. Alien Voice, what have you done? What have you messed up? Been one season and you started watching. First time you clicked on your video was the last game of the previous season. Yeah, I started making it last season, right? Yeah. It's a shame I muted most of that conversation there with Harry. He's had a fantastic season. Hey Chris, welcome back, buddy, and Sean, of course, as well. Thoughts on Aguero? Thinking of just captaining. Honestly, according to Ben Dinnery, it's looking like he might not make it. I'm just going to turn my voice down just a little bit on here. I don't know what happened, but for some reason OBS changed all my settings. That's why I was muted for some reason. That's why it took me a while to come online, because it was not letting me capture my webcam and stuff. It's been really, really weird. But yeah, I would love, and I was planning on myself, because if I brought in Willock, I could have gone, you know, Iniacho or Calvert-Lewin or anyone to Aguero. But according to Ben Dinnery, he might not be there. He might not be there. And if reports are there that he's going to go to Barcelona, he's not going to want to do a terrible injury to cost him passing that medical, right? Sideways season for you, Sean, still only 500k. Like I was making the points with Harry, right? And coming across what has happened this season, like, I'm still happy with 140k, considering I did not have anyone. All of the big players that scored big for those first 5-10 weeks, I had Calvert-Lewin and I had Martinez, but they obviously didn't score big compared to, you know, a game week 1 Salah captain. When I look at the game week review, and it's a good thing for me, but maybe some lessons that you guys will learn and mistakes that we can avoid next season. But that's a really big thing of this season. It felt a bit more template. You've got 560 points from your captains this season. 532 from me, and you can see a lot of them fall under the dotted line over there. And you can see I've had 84 hits, guys, 20 more hits than everyone else. But when we have a look at my review, you'll actually see that the transfers I've made actually this season on the whole, only off the top of my head, I think when I took Bamford out when he got like 15 points, I actually think that's like one of the very, very few times where I took out a player who ended up punishing me. I think my transfers have been pretty decent this year. I mean, even Bruno coming in got me 2 more points, right? I'm too quiet now. Okay, there we go. Hi. Yeah, I don't know why OBS changed all my settings, because I'd never change anything. Call-ins are good. You're afraid to going to watch on the slide. You're doing Zaha to Harrison to from Bruno to and Chris, you're bringing up a great point on what I'm thinking about myself, and that is, do I take a hit? Do I go? I'm 20 points behind. Do I take a -4 and go for it, or do I just? Because here's the thing, right? I have always said to you guys, ignore effective ownership and captain who you think will score the most points. The problem is, Salah, I do think he's going to score the most points. I do think he's the best captaincy option for this week, but his effective ownership is going to be like 150%. So it's one of them where you kind of want to not captain him and hope he blanks, and maybe even sell. Like if you're really doubling down, it's like sell Salah, get in Firmino, or you know, double defense or whatever, captain the other one and pray that he blanks, because that's the only way that I can feasibly think of getting inside the top 100k. Because if I captain Mo Salah and he does well or blanks, 150% effective ownership is going to be the same. So it's really it's a bit frustrating that, to be honest, your Liverpool options are your only big captaincy options this week. Like the best choice, right? Think they smashed Palace earlier in the season. They have to win to secure an unlikely Champions League place. You can't look past Liverpool this week, and unfortunately that means you just kind of gotta captain Salah, and that's it. So do I take a -4? How can I make those 4 points back? It's difficult. So Zaha to Harrison. Now, Chris, Harrison has been in form, and I would usually recommend Harrison, and I would usually recommend like Rafinha. Obviously, they've been fantastic this season. But here's the problem, guys. They've just said that, what is it, Berardi and Hernandez are going to leave at the end of the season. Don't be surprised if you see them play. I don't know if Bielsa has got a bit of a soft heart for the likes of Hernandez, but don't be surprised if maybe Harrison doesn't start or Rafinha doesn't start, and they give the swan song to the likes of Hernandez. Captaining Mane, so yeah, so that's the thing with me, Chris, as well, right? So if I captain Mane and he outscores Salah, great, but then the problem with that is it's still gonna hamstring me. So it's kind of like, don't have... It's like what I've always said about Bruno, guys. It's like, if you've got him, you've got to captain him. And it's captain or don't have him. If Aguero is gone, you don't know where to take the risk. Yeah, and that would have been a great risk. With everything kicking off at the same time, we're obviously going to hope that we get some early team news. That would be fantastic. You know, if Aguero starts, you know, if you get that league, then excellent. You're in there. Aguero is only 1 goal away from... Yeah, but if he's not fit and he's not going to risk a Barcelona 2-year deal... biggest nightmare for you this season, we're getting rid of Son early, transferring Stones out the week before he got 18 points. Any idea who you could drop for DCL and Mahrez? You've got 5 million in the bank. Whatever you bring in, you'll probably captain. So again, Sean, I just said about waiting for the team news. I would definitely do that. And I had also thought about dropping Calvert-Lewin, but here's why I'm not going to do that. Because I think that Man City, Pep has a history of before Champions League finals. Now, I know it's been a while since he's been in a Champions League final, but he has a history of giving his players big rests before the Champions League. He's won the title. He's got nothing to play for. I think Man City B team is going to be out. Now, don't get me wrong, Man City B team are obviously still incredible, but they are not perfect and they concede lots of goals. Like, look at Newcastle, for example. So the problem with something like Mahrez is if he does play, he might be surrounded by Man City players who are, quote, second string, like, for example, Ake in defense, or Scott Carr. I think he'll play Ederson because goalkeepers need to get, always be match sharp and stuff. But that's what I'm thinking. So I've kept Dominic Calvert-Lewin because I don't think he's going to be up against Stones and Diaz. I think he's going to be up against, Ake and Laporte or whoever his first choice isn't. Could be wrong, but obviously hold out for I'm not making my transfers until right at the end, and at the minute it's going to be Fernandes out for someone stupid, to be honest, a big punt, because captain's going to be Salah, and I just need to pray I choose the one player that goes out and gets me 15-20 points, because that's the only way I can get in. Then afternoon, your -4 Foden Mahrez worked out a week later. I know, I'm sorry, bud. I did clip you in my tweet when we talked about, when I was warning you guys about Man City players. But you kept him, and then a week later they got you the points, right? But just like I said, here's the problem. If they don't play the next game, they've played 1 in 3, which is what I said, right? But at least this week it was good. Thanks for the heads up. You've got 6.8 million to spare on a midfielder. Already have Rafinha. If you don't go Harrison, do you have any suggestions apart from Lingard? You don't like him. Chris, don't not get players because you don't like him. But for 6.8 million, it's really tough to not say someone like Lingard. You can't get anyone. I'm not going to suggest another West Ham player. It would be Lingard, right? Smith Rowe against Brighton, but that's not particularly easy. I think he's under 6.8. Willock is in fine form. He scored another goal. Alex Saint-Maximin, if you want to be... he's my tempter. I know Saint-Maximin hasn't done anything for quite a while in terms of FPL, but in terms of, he could do something, and he's just such a... It seems like, if you look at his Twitter, he's such a nice guy, and he's such a lovely player to watch. Maybe go for Saint-Maximin or Willock. All right. Hey, Shani. How you doing, buddy? Bruno and DCL out for Mane and Bamford for you. So tempted to captain Bamford. You need to go. So, okay. So, Shani, what I'm going to say about that is if you're bringing in Mane for Bruno, that's a great move. You can see I've got Mane myself. But bringing in Bamford, yeah, you might captain him, but one, he might not play with, or he'll play up front with Rodrigo. But you're bringing in a 40% player. What's Bamford's ownership? 43.2%. It depends on what your goals are, but if you're trying to make up 20 points similar to what I am, I'm taking out Bruno, who's over 50% owned, and I've got to bring in like Aubameyang. Aubameyang is who I'm thinking of right now, because the ceiling's there, the potential's there, and he's very low owned. Hey, Mr. Jolly, how you doing, buddy? The friendly chimney sweep. Edison 100% playing, can confirm after Carlson, but yeah. So Edison would be a decent choice, but actually, just like what I said about the other guys, if you're bringing in Edison and it's a second string Man City team, and he's got the likes of Ake playing in front of him, you're gonna probably concede. So I wouldn't recommend Edison. Are you staying up to watch the games on Sunday live stream? For me, they start at 11 o'clock. I did do it last season. In fact, I still have this up that I used last season, right, when I did all the live scores and things. Possibly, but we'll see. I'll think about it. Like, it would be great. Excuse me. It would be great to do it again. But the problem for me is it would just be too late. fortunately, I have a late start and I am teaching from home on the Monday. But the fact that if it was a Saturday, for sure. But the fact that it's a Sunday and I've got work Monday morning and games wouldn't finish till 1 o'clock, I don't think it's worth it. Plus, every FPL content creator is going to do that. So, there's plenty of people that are going to do that live. Don't need to add me to that list. Let me catch up. Krista, 9 points behind me. Wow. See, behind me. Oh, but you've got 2 accounts, right? I thought one of them was still like 40k or something like that. Potentially Pereira last game of the season, Big Hole versus Leeds, possibly. But no, I can't recommend a West Brom player. Pereira and Diagna, no. I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce your name, buddy. Ndolovu, Untuthako, good evening, buddy. Mason Mount, again, they've got the Champions League in a week. That's why you can see I've got Reece James. He's on my bench. I would play him over Holding, right? But I'm just trying to think logically. If I'm the manager and it's been a tough season, I've had so many games, I've got the Champions League, why would I risk him? What would be the point? Maxman is injured. Shani, I didn't even know that. Then yeah, Willock. Or I'm leaning towards Aubameyang. Why not? I started the season with Aubameyang as captain. Why not finish the season with him in my team just to disappoint me one more time? Differentials: Willock, Torres, Harrison, Pulisic, Smith Rowe. Yep, definite potential and different differentials, 100%. Good call on ownership. Ali is desperate to bring in Aubameyang for the same reasons as me. You just think Brighton aren't too bad defensively? Yeah, 100%. Brighton, I think, in terms of what is it, expected goals conceded or whatever, Brighton are the 2nd or 3rd best team in the league. And even we all banked on them getting beat last time out, right? Because no Veltman, and they had one other player out, and they were solid. And as FPL's scout and FPL black box, as the Brighton fan, he called it. He said, "Look, yeah, I know we're missing 2 defenders, but the way that we play, we're going to be fine." Wasn't worried about it at all. So and I just know Aubameyang. Would you say Aubameyang is like Sterling? You just know you're going to be disappointed. Or like end of last season, didn't he get a hat trick last game of the season, Aubameyang? Or he scored a brace? He hauled big time at the end of last season. I remember because he was a 50-50 call of whether I was going to get him in, and I didn't. Is Son or Bale worth a shout with Leicester? Yes, 100%. And this is where Spurs shine. Spurs shine as that counter-attacking side. And you just know Leicester, they must win. They must score. They have to go and attack Spurs. And that is absolute prime counter-attacking ability for Spurs. And I would recommend Bale over Son because it's his last game for Spurs, Bale. And also, he had a rest in the last game. And Son is highly owned. Is that 40+%? So if you're up for if you wanted to make a differential, then Bale. Again, he is a genuine possibility for me. I'm leaning more towards Bale than I am Aubameyang because Aubameyang's a massive differential, just like Bale is, to be honest. But no, I don't think I can trust. Andy, let's talk. We'll have like 10,000 viewers. Can't get a word in there. Yep, that is true. But there are also going to be loads of other content creators out there as well. My account is 133. Oh, it's a shame. I thought you were higher up. Pronounce One Love. Oh, that's interesting. That is, isn't it weird, right? We forget things from like 5 minutes ago, but you call the 1990s Coventry striker, and it's like, boom, I know that. And yeah, and it's just like any popular streamer when there's that many things going on, they can't. Max Fine should be okay. Assessed. He was subbed injured. Yeah, that happens. I don't think I'll ever blow up, but honestly, Shani, sometimes it's easier if I didn't. Just because then I can just chat to you guys instead of having to, like, for example, I don't have to do any policing. I don't have to worry about people jumping on the Discord chat when Harry was in for a second, right? Or I don't have to worry about bad things going in the chat. I'm like, okay, he's banned or he's timed out or whatever. I don't have to do any of that. Wood in for Watkins for a hit? No. Wood looked massively shaky, like nervous. I don't know if his own fans put him off, but I wouldn't do it for a hit. Wood for Watkins in that situation, like, yeah. What I said earlier, Chelsea might not play the first team because they've got the Champions League final. But for a -4, that means if Watkins gets anything, an assist or a goal, Wood's got to double it. And I know Burnley, is it Sheffield United Burnley have got? Yeah, Burnley go to Sheffield United. They will watch in front of the Sheffield fans. You know, fans are now back to make a difference, right? And I don't know. Yeah, of course, I would prefer Wood, but would I take a hit to do it? No, not for that. It feels a bit sidewaysy. Watching how Chris Wood does a hat trick, and that would be just awful. I'd feel terrible. But I give the advice of what would I do, right? And I wouldn't take a hit to go to Wood. This one's at 27k. Couldn't hold on. Yeah, it's been tough. Pepe Torres in, Jota Fernandez out. Pepe is someone I looked at as well. What did he get against Palace? Was it like 14 points? What did he get? Pepe. 15 points. Oh, if I had a player that got me 15 points this week, that would be delightful. If you get a team sheet with Pepe and Torres in for Joe and Fernandez, yes, I like those moves. Big time. Would I do it without knowing what the teams were? No. I reckon Pepe will play. Torres, you're playing Pep Roulette, and that is a dangerous, dangerous game. Yeah, good to see you, mate, Shani. Hopefully I'll see you in the summer and next season. I might do some Euro fantasy stuff. I'm going to keep my Euro team close to my chest because I reckon I've got a good Euro fantasy team. I'm going to keep it on the low down, you see. Who am I captain? You have it as Willock. I mentioned it earlier, Krista. It pains me to say, but I've always said to you guys, captain who you think, ignore effective ownership, captain who you think is going to be the highest point scorer. And I do think it's going to be Salah. I wish it wasn't. I really do. I wish it was, let's say Liverpool against City and we could all have a really fun end of season random captaincy shout. But I just cannot look past the Liverpool players. And even though Mane's picked up a couple of points for me, which is lovely, he's very low owned, 6.5%. He's got me 6, 5, and then 1 and 11. He's on decent form. If Salah outscores Mane as my captain, and then even if Salah blanks and is in my team and Mane bangs, that would help. But then I've got a player who I want to fail. And it just comes under the same Bruno situation of I've got Salah. He's going to have like 150% ownership. I've got to either take the punt, but I'd still want him to blank. And wanting your own player to blank is just horrible. Which one of those got notifications? Just struggles. Oh, no worries, mate. And that is something that's always going to be an issue with me because obviously I have to stream it around this time because life, that's my time. But also in the summer though, because I'm not working, I might actually switch and do streams my mornings, which would be your nights. So for example, if I'm up at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's 12 o'clock at night for you guys. So it's really difficult. There's no successful way for me to do it. So even if I stream at say 12 o'clock, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, that would be 5 p.m. But yeah. Yes, take care, Shani, mate. Enjoy work. Lewandowski and Kane on 352 for Euros Fantasy. Lewandowski, fantastic, but Poland, iffy. Kane, yeah. But here, I don't know, guys. I'll give you a hint. Think of the special chips and stuff that they've got, and think about your team. And I'll give you one hint, guys. Right? I am not starting with any French players, but I think France is going to win the Euro 2020 competition, but I'm not starting the season with them. Google him. Yeah, it is the time zones, and it's either I get up at like 3 a.m. and do it, or I end up doing it in the middle of your night, and it's more difficult for you guys, 12 o'clock at night. Maybe do something like late Euros. Call my show something like that. All right, so you can see here on the right hand side. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not paid for this app or anything like that, but it's really useful. It shows you your rank for each game week. You can have a look at your season. It shows you your game week rank as well, so you can see. I've had some nightmare 6.9 million, and that wasn't even when we hit like 8 million players. I was like 7 million. Captaincy points, hits. The game week review is useful because you can go all the way back to game week 1, and I'm gonna have a look at some of the things I've done and the mistakes I've made. Wow, that was a free hit and a wild card. I thought, wow, I made a lot of transfers that game week. I don't know how to go back. I'd have to check my team on here though, which is what I can do now. Oh dear, I've opened an advertisement there. So yeah, I can combine these together. So game week 1, I think like a lot of people, we started the season excited about Aubameyang. Oh my god, he's a midfielder. Aubameyang in midfield, extra points for goals and assists and clean sheets. What a wonderful season it's going to be, guys. Everyone's going to have Aubameyang. I'm not even going to have Mo Salah in my side because I've got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Wonderful. Fantastic. Most people got 15 captaincy points that week. I got 14. 3.5 million. We'll go through some of the players that you'll see. And just catch up. Did you even look at the France team? They have the second team that looks better than 80% of other big countries. Yeah, Denver. I'm not going to say why I don't have any French players in my Euro team. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep it close to my chest, close to my heart. You think it showed how many points a manager is behind, like 100k or 10k? That's live FPL. We'll show you that. Live FPL.net, I think it is. This one. Live FPL.net rank, and then you put your team ID in, and then you scroll down, and here you can see I'm 20 points off. 20 points away. Highlight of the season was getting your aim of 5. Oh, you got it, Denver, did you? 500 pointers. Oh, it did have it. Maybe they're just changing some stuff. So start of the season, you see 3.5 million. Started with Aubameyang. So looking back, double Liverpool defense. Now, cast your minds back, guys. Starting with double Liverpool defense was not stupid, right? Still here. Good to see you around still, Shani. So So yeah, start of the season, double Liverpool defense. Let's not forget, guys, that that wasn't stupid. Starting the season with Matt Ryan, it was a 4.5 million choice. I can't remember who was the other option, but it was Ryan and McCarthy at Southampton were the two best choices. And I went with Brighton because of the fixtures. Because it was either a Brighton defender and the Southampton goalkeeper, or the Southampton goalkeeper and the Brighton defender. And I went Southampton defender, Brighton goalkeeper, got me nothing. Started the season with St. Maximan, bigged him up in pre-season. It was like 5 million or whatever he was. Well, yeah, fantastic. Here is my first lesson learned, guys. My first lesson that I learnt was not starting with players without and I even said this in my tip video, pre-season tip video. Don't start the season with players that you don't know. Because I was like, whoa, Timo Werner, whoa, Kai Havertz, let's have a look at the highlights reel on YouTube. Wow, they've scored lots of goals. They must be really good. They haven't played Premier League. Chelsea signed a ton of players with Frank Lampard at the start of the season. Why? Don't start the season with players who you don't know, you've not watched, and you get in on the hype. Now, Werner, all right, he got me 5 points. Now, I'm going to warn you all now. I had Werner for longer than I care to admit. Okay? See when he goes out. All right, I had him for far too long. Hey, Ali, welcome back, buddy. Trent will definitely run a tear next season too. Definitely in your team. I know. I started the season with the double Liverpool. And again, guys, it takes a while for Timo Werner to go out. It also takes me a long time to grasp that I shouldn't go double Liverpool defense, because none of us thought Liverpool were going to be that bad. That bad at the start of the season, right? There was last season, Liverpool and City were so good, and Liverpool was so good. There was no way of thinking that Liverpool were going to be so defensively woeful. Started the season with Ings, Calvert-Lewin, Ings, great, good price. And you can see the tactic that I had here was to start with spreading my money out. I've got a good overall solid team. Ali was taken off after 45 minutes. Yeah, it was terrible. So first thing I've learned, guys, is unless the name is Haaland, I am not starting the season, I think, next year with any new people. Like new players to the Premier League. I don't care if they've ripped up the Dutch league. I don't care if they've destroyed the German league. I don't care if they've walked all over the Swedish league. I am not starting the season with like a hype player that I don't know. I'm just not. Also interested in Pepe. More Pepe than Aubameyang. Hey Sparta. Feeling Eurofever already. 23 years you've waited. 23 years. Who are you backing to win, Sparta? I think France are going to take it. Might be the only ones. Well, now Pepe's going to turn a lot of heads. I mean, he got a 15-point haul, didn't he? So that's going to happen. You're going to do Bruno for Aubameyang captain. That'd be imagine if that pays off. That's a memorable thing. If you bring in a normal player and don't captain and Salah bangs, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I captained Mo Salah when he scored lots of points. Oh, well done. He does that almost every other week. I brought in Pepe last game of the season for his 20-point haul. Memorable. Is Pukki in my considerations? No, I don't even think Finland's going to score. And Pukki's apparently a bit injured. Yeah, he can be a little bit. Actually, I think Joe gets a lot of grief sometimes. Will you have Messi if he comes? Okay, now I did say like Haaland, Messi. Now here's my prediction, guys. I think Juventus are going to miss out on the Champions League, and I think Ronaldo is going to go back to Manchester United. I think Ronaldo's going back. because he needs Champions League football. I saw somewhere that he'll lose something like 20% from sponsorships if he's not in the Champions League. And I think the Glazers need to go and get that player that makes the fans back on their side to say, look, we're paying Ronaldo loads of money. Yeah, ignore that he's bringing in lots of money in shirt sales and stuff. Ignore that. It's not a business move. It's a feelings move. But I genuinely think Ronaldo will come back. So if Ronaldo or Messi go to the Premier League, I'm not going to say no. All right. But we're talking about two of the greatest players of all time. So that's different. And yeah, I think the Scotland squad's solid. Absolutely rock solid. And I don't think Germany will get out of their group. I think they might get out as the third best because they'll beat Hungary. But Germany have been shaky since they went out in the group stages of the World Cup. Got Portugal and France in that group. Don't hear, I know it's just FPL content. Appreciate the effort. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people, I agree with that, Shani, right? So I watch or listen to a lot of FPL content, but for me, like, the personality of going for a drink with someone is different. You want him into Miami playing MLS? What, Ronaldo? Ronaldo won't be going back to United unless he takes a pay cut. You're already sending Sancho. You'll see. Yeah, the Black Bolt guys, yeah, they are class. I do watch them too. Yeah, so it's good. But to be fair, they all defend each other. All right, so next game week. Game week 2. I captained Aubameyang again because he started the season really well. I got 10 points. Most people got 12. Liverpool defense coming in hot. Nice. Not too bad. But still 2.7 million. Havertz doing nothing. Werner doing nothing. St. Maximin doing nothing. Everton boys coming in hot. You can see my transfers. I took out Ings, who got 11 points, and Ali, who got 0. But I brought in Rodriguez and I brought in Martial. Look, guys, it's a long time ago. I don't know why I did it. But I'm 3 points up. So when I said earlier about my transfers, genuinely, over the course of the season, I'm up. I'm up on points. Turkey will be the dark horses at the Euros. Heard it here first. Ali, I completely agree. Yeah, massively agree. They've had a really strong qualification and really good results. And who knows, North Macedonia might pull off a shock. So Captain Aubameyang, and then unsurprisingly, guys, we had my Game Week 3 wildcard. This was a very generic move that I think a lot of people made. And you can see I've still got the 2 Liverpool players, and I've still got Timo Werner. He stays for a terribly long amount of time. I did warn you guys. And Martinez, my player of the year. He'll be 5.5 million, I think, next season. I had him from Game Week 3 all the way until like Game Week 30 or something like that. What a guy. He's 5 points off being the greatest FPL goalkeeper of all time. That is how much of a season this guy has had. He's outscored defenders, midfielders, and forwards. This man has been absolutely ridiculous. Turkey have about as much chance as Aubameyang does this week. Oh, well, let's captain Aubameyang then. Captain Iñigo Firmino. Just putting it out there. I can't get any more Liverpool in, or I would have got Firmino. I've already got 3. FPL Gaming Lounge is class. Will Red Bull stop the Mercedes climb? No, Mercedes is going to run away with it. Stop hating on Aubameyang. You're meant to be an Arsenal fan. Oh, I just can't do it. I don't think I can bring in an Arsenal player. And I think we've already said it. I think Brighton are too strong defensively. Funny thing is, you have a bad feeling that Werner will be a hit. Then yeah. Now my memory stretches back seriously with this, right? Honestly, when David De Gea first went to Manchester United, he was terrible. When Didier Drogba first went to Chelsea, he was terrible. Awful. Both of them really, really bad. And then they became like 2 of the best players. So Timo Werner, if he can stay on side and sort out his finishing, will be massive next season. Massive. Do you think FPL should have a trophy for the winner to lift when collecting their prize? Yeah. Why not? There'd be 8 million people in the competition. FPL Game Week Lounge was that Llama Lounge originally? That's Booner and Llama, right? Sparta. You're getting Pepe Rodrigo as a differential on Captain Pepe. Like it, Ali. All right, take it easy, Shani. So this was what wildcard. Rumor saying Kane is at 150 mil, same as Haaland. I'm not surprised by that price. So you can see my wildcard. I took out players that got 21 points, and I brought in players that got me 34. But still, 1.2 million rank. My captain blank, 2 to 4 points. Mahrez gave me 12. Delicious. Game week 4. Oh my god, I'm going to try and whiz through this a little bit. Fantastic. This was the week where I came 6.4 million overall for that game week. I took out Son for 18 points and brought in Barnes for 2 because Xiaoming Song was supposed to be injured and he wasn't, and he hauled, and I brought in Barnes, as well as this was the week I think when Villa smashed Liverpool and I got 2 -1s. Awful. What a start to the season that I had. Yeah, Islam Lounge, I thought it was. Too much of the bants. I can see that. So yeah, swiftly moving on. Oh, and I captained another blank there for Kevin De Bruyne. And then I brought in back Son. And Gareth Bale. So just like I said about Game Week 1, guys, not captaining or bringing in new players. Now, Bale had barely played for Real Madrid, so rusty, but I got so excited that Gareth Bale was back, I brought him in and he got a point. But for this one, transfers, I took out Foden, De Bruyne, and Mahrez. I brought in Bale, Grealish, and Son. 17 points. Over 9. Plus a -4 hit, so I'm still up. And Timo Werner getting me 16 points. Finally, game week 5. He picks up a little haul. And the problem with that is it made me keep them. It made me keep him. And then we have, I think this was my worst game week of the season. Aguero back from injury. I'm so excited. I bring him in. I captain him. I'm so chuffed. Oh, this is wonderful news. What a wonderful day. He gets injured at half time. Goes off 45 minutes with nothing. And you can see Barnes and Wood out and Barkley and Aguero in. I'm down 2 points on that one. I think I'm down another 4 on top of that. So it's more like down 6 points. And Bale doesn't play at all. James is on my bench. And there's Taylor. And for some reason I had Alzate ahead of James. So there's another lesson, guys. Double check your bench order. So lesson 1, don't bring in new players for the hype. Lesson 2, sort your bench out. That would be better. Nostalgia pick curse. Yep. And that's Aguero's going to catch a lot of people in that this week. Double Liverpool defense still doing nothing. Heung-min Son, captain, blanks, 1.4 million rank. I take out Bale, who finally plays and gets 9 points, but I bring in Kevin De Bruyne and I bring in Wilson, and I get 18 points. So I'm up on that deal. Werner again doing all right. Calvert-Lewin still on a roll. Overall, 1.4 million rank for the week. Not too bad at all. And then I'm back down to another terrible game week. 5 million game week rank here. No transfers. Didn't make any transfers for this game week. And I've got an 8-pointer and a 6-pointer on the bench. Just look at that defense though. Like, at this point, guys, I'm like, this was my I think this was my lowest point of the season when I was like 4.4 million or 4.5 million overall rank at this point. And you look at this team, right? Martinez in goal. That's a great choice, even now. Trent and Robbo double up with Reece James. I have Trent now, and I have Reece James now. That they are not bad. I just feel really unlucky. Grealish, fantastic. Son, great. Kevin De Bruyne, you know, player of the year, fantastic, top tier lad. Calvert-Lewin still in a streak, hot streak. Werner picking stuff up. I told you I keep Werner for far too long. And Wilson blanks. But Wilson overall has had a pretty good season, apart from injuries. And that was it. 4.5 million. What an absolute nightmare. But then it's bounce back ability, guys. I take out Trent. I take out Alzate. I take out Wilson for a -4. And I bring in Bruno, Cancelo, Brewster for 13 points. So that's +9 there. Captain Bruno gets me 22 points, which was 10 points higher than the average. Hello, Matt, which I'm going to season review here. Learning lessons. 1, don't bring in hype players. 2, double check your bench. Sadio captain this game week, thinking -4 for Trent in. Don't blame you. Yeah, easy move. It depends what your aim is though, Sparta. Like if you're looking to really climb the ranks, I don't know if those moves are gonna do it for you. Alright, moving to game week 10. 1.3 overall. I captain Jamie Vardy. That's not too bad. Jamie Vardy here, West Brom. I think this was one when he only got an assist. No, goal scored 2. That doesn't make sense. He would have more than 10 points. Oh, is this one when he missed a penalty? No, I must have read it wrong. Assist. Yeah, I'm right. He got an assist. Yeah, decent. 1.3 million. I'm starting to rise the rank. Take out Barkley. Take out Werner. Finally, 10 game weeks, guys. 10 game weeks I had Timo Werner at the start of the season. Finally took him out for a -4. And I'm 7 points. So I'm up 1 point there, guys, but I took out Timo Werner eventually. Which fixture do I think will have the most goals aggregate? Probably Leeds West Brom. I just think it's going to be 2 clubs smashing each other as hard as they can because they've got nothing else to do. Game week 11, decent game week as well. Kevin De Bruyne captaincy here, 14 points to 28. 1 million game week rank for this. But transfer nightmare, take out a 13-point Son and bring in a 4-point Mahrez. So I'm down on that one there. Souček, one of my hidden gems of the season. Really enjoyed having him. Loved watching him, honestly. At times, he's like a centre forward. He genuinely is. But yeah, moving on. Finally have Mo Salah, bringing him captain 8 points to 16, 1.5 million. And again, I thought I did better with my transfers, but at the start of the season, you can see I'm not. 16 points. I took out a 13-point Jamie Vardy and a 3-point Mahrez to bring in an 8-point Salah and a 5-point Bamford. So there you go. I took out a big Jamie Vardy. Yeah, this was the one where he got 2 goals. I took him out against West Brom. Why? Why did I do that? But you can see Emi Martinez being my 11-point hero for that one to stop the damage. Bruno captaincy blank here. 2.7 million overall rank. Saved my transfer. Brilliant game week. 95 points. I took out an 8-point Cancelo for a 1-point Kufal. So my transfers, guys, were not as good as I thought they were. Definitely not for the first half of the season. Bruno with a big 34. Wasn't this no, not quite a double game week, but I didn't get into the 100-point club. I was so close and felt the final hurdle. Better than 98%. And another backed it up with a good game week. Captaincy blank, but the rest of my team do all right. Souček 10 points, Bamford 8, Fernandez, Martinez all pulling the weight. So captaincy blank, still well above the average. And then back down to earth. This was, if I remember rightly, guys, this was a bad week for most people because I only got 38 points, but I still beat half of the game. I still beat 50%. I took out a 2-point Grealish for a 0-point Son. Oh, this was when games got cancelled. That was it. I forgot. Yeah, look. Son, no game. Calvert-Lewin, no game. Stones, no game. That's why everyone had a bad one. I forgot we had games cancelled. Completely slipped my mind. And next one, beat 75% of the game. Heung-min Son with a good captaincy. Good captaincy choice there. 10 points, 11. Souček is on a roll for me. West Ham are still doing really well at the start of the season. Over halfway through now, which is why they're playing for it. Free hit. I did better than 80%. So this was the one where you see I took out players that got me 7 points for a free hit, and I got players that got me 45 points. So I think we can call that a successful free hit, guys. You can see 44 points doesn't look like a lot, but this was the one where there was no good options really. You had Spurs and City, and that was it. But I did it so I could field 11 when most people couldn't, and then that brings me on to the next game week where you can see I got a game week where I could 500,000, triple captaincy played. Mo Salah blanks it though, but I get 109 points, so I break the 100 barrier, took a -8, so 67 points transferred out. For this was the wild card, I think it was, and 84 points -8 brought in. So I'm up on the deal. I've got the players I wanted. So in terms of my wild card and free hit, they were great this season. In terms of triple captaincy and bench boost was nothing. And triple captaincy blank, but it wasn't a great week for anyone except John Stones, who just 27 points, double game week. What a man. And then this week, I was early on the Gundogan wagon. Kevin De Bruyne out, Gundogan in, up 14 points, better than 84%, 1.2. This is where I start to really kick up a notch. Mo Salah captain, 30 points. Look at the rest of my team. Nothing except, of course, Emi Martinez. 10 from Emi, 30 from Salah. Nothing anywhere else, and it still got me a 2.4 million rank. So this was the week I took out Bamford for 15 points, and I brought in Calvert-Lewin and Luca Dean, who of course let me down because that's what Everton seemed to do. Another captaincy blank, took out an 8-point Gundogan for a 6-point Grealish, so I'm down 2 points on that. So transfers, guys, my own transfers I think have let me down quite a bit. Impatient maybe. Like I said this right at the start of the stream, it feels like this was not the season for risk takers. This was not the season for those punts. How many 100 plus game weeks this season have? You've had 4. 2, I think 2. Game week 23. Fantastic game week. Heung-min Son. 10 points to 20. Dallas is there. Martinez, Kufal, Calvert-Lewin and Watkins, the English boys up front, doing me good. 86 points. Game week rank of 219,000. Gundogan. Yeah, I'm hoping that catches on, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I also like that you've put little symbols and stuff. I'm actually just gonna copy and paste that. Love it. I'm gonna give you a trophy for that. I never use my emojis, but have a look. That's Alan Shearer, probably my favourite player of all time. And that's the Kevin Keegan rant. I did Football Manager streams. They were my little stickers, emotes I can use. Yeah, great game week. Again, the rise is sort of starting to happen here. Game week 23. I say the rise, I mean 4 million to almost 100k. And we can see game week 24. Bruno getting me just above the average in terms of captain, 18 points when the average was 16. Gundogan, 19 points vice captain. You copied it, not gonna lie. Good. Dallas on my bench for -1. Shrewd move there. Yeah, a really good game week. Areola's in there because I had 2 goalkeepers, and this was a double game week for Fulham, and I even said the most scared I was Martinez with 1 game against Areola with 2, and I was right. Martinez outscored him 12 points because he's a legend. But yeah, another good game week there. This one, another decent game week, 730k, 3 points out, 20 points brought in, -4. So I'm up big time, like what, 12 points up or something from this one. 700k. Gunner one, vice captain. Oh, have I not gone forward? My bad. There we go. Bruno vice captain for this one. Dallas with his 17 pointer. Bamford as my captain with 16, and I transferred Bamford in for this game, so that was a good transfer. I did sort my transfers out eventually, guys. Another big week. This was my bench boost though. 8, 10, 12. Not great, not great. Really let down. Dyer, who I brought in for the double game week that they were going to have, was playing 90 minutes like every game of the season. I bring him in, he gets dropped. And that's the exact same thing that happened with... Oh, what's his name? Like the Paraguayan defender for West Ham. Balbuena. Is he Paraguayan? Uruguayan? Whatever. Yeah, I brought him back. Look at all these 90 minutes. And then I bring him in. Doesn't play again. Oh, I have to go back. Where was I? 27 then. Bench boost, nothing. Everyone else except my bench boost. Help me out there. 1.1 million rank, Riyad Mahrez week. This was called 40-point captain. I think they had a double game week for this one, if I'm right. Am I right in this one for game week 27? Yeah, double game week. He's my captain. He blanks against Manchester United. I'm thinking he's not even going to play the next game. Great. I choose a Man City player. And then bang, he does start against Southampton. And he slaughters them. 18 points for a successful week there. But again, look at the rest of my team. Kane, great. Not as good as Mahrez. Martinez, great, but just 3 players pulling me out there big time. 11 points transfers here. Bale out. Bale in. I brought in Bale twice. I bring him in for another 1-pointer, but that also meant that I brought Dunk in, and that got me 10 points. So I'm up here. 4 points up. So there you go. Little things like that. And I'm playing a 4-3-3. How exotic, with Dallas 6 points on my bench. Decent game week. Rafinha captain, 8 points doubled. Bale, nothing. Son, nothing. No subs. Cresswell, nothing. But early in on Lingard. There's Bamford. There's Rafinha. And 500k rank. I think this was a low. 25 points was the average for this game week. 25-point average. If you guys remember that one, it was awful. And then I captain Rafinha again. 12 points for this one. Another 12 for Lingard. Big one for Kane there, 13. Watkins keeps getting assists or the cheeky goal. Mahrez out, Fernandes in. 2 points up on that deal. And then we have my wild card. You can see all the transfers that I made. 38 points. If I did, this was a game week rank of 25,639. So a really good week. Captain Mo Salah, 7 points to 14. I took out Bamford, Bale, Watkins, Dunk, Bruno, Cresswell, Rafinha, Areola, Luka Dean, Cancelo, Martinez. That was when, so I had Martinez from game week 3 to game week 31. Jota, Salah, Trent, Iniacho coming in, Vardy, James, Forster, Neto, Leno, Holding, and Cody. I've gone from 38 points to 62. So again, I did time the free hits right and the wild cards right. So at least I did something good this season. But looking back, some of the transfers I've made, guys, were not as good as I as I thought they were. Didn't do anything the next week. Oh no, I did. Neto out, Bowen in for 5 points. 87 and 32k. So game week 31, I'm 25,000 game week. And game week 32, I'm 32,000 game week. And I only have 10 men because Leno randomly doesn't play, which is good. And then I'm back down to earth, 1.8 million. Mo Salah really saving me here. Look at this. Nothing from Leno, nothing from Cody. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. And I've got Dallas for 6, Salah captain and Iniacho. That is it. That was it. And then from there, it's grey arrows. I was shooting all the way up until game week 33 and I stagnated. 37 points below average. 43%. Leno out, Meslier in. Harry Kane captain, nothing. Wrong captain. That was the week where, so lesson number 3, don't be a coward. So 1, don't go for hype players. 2, sort out, make sure you double check your bench. And 3, don't be a coward. Because so many times this season, I haven't gone for this player because of this effective ownership or because of this silly little reason. This was the week where I went with the crowd and I didn't back myself. I said I was going to go Son captain. I thought he was going to be the better option and I didn't because I saw too many people captain Kane. I freaked out. Effective ownership affected this decision and it cost me big. 12 would have gone to 24 and 4 would have gone down to 2 and I've been well up. 4.6 million rank that week before pulling it out with a 1, 3, 4. What a game week. And I still only beat 98% of the players for this. So in some game weeks I've beaten 99%. 163,000, which is obviously really good. Went with Bruno, captaincy, Forster for 10 because I knew he was going to play 2 games, obviously. Trent 16, James nothing. Godfrey. That was my choice. Could have been Luca Dean. It could have been Holgate. Could have been Coleman. I was like, no, Godfrey. I think he's the best one. Ward-Prowse and Zaha not doing anything. Bruno 38. Salah 13. And this was the one, guys, when I said in the last free hit in game week 18-19, right? Being aggressive paid off for those people. You can see I took a 12-point hit for this game week. Jota for 10 points. Yeah, that sucks, right? Son for 7. Kane for 2. Bowen for 1. Cody for 1. 21 points. 12 points it cost me on top of that. So 33. I brought in 56 points. So I'm 23 points up on that. And even more because I bring Bruno in and I captain him for even more points. So lesson number 4, be aggressive on those double game weeks. I should have probably written these down because I'll definitely forget. No hype. Sort bench. I can't even remember number 3. I can't remember number 3. 4. Aggressive double game week. I can't remember 3. I'll have to play it back to myself. I can't remember my 3rd lesson. You can also say don't follow the crowd. Oh, that was number 3, yeah. Coward. Don't be a coward. Yeah, that was it. Let me get to game week 36. 514,000. Trent as my captain. Bringing Antonio and Mane for 7. Bruno, Vardy, nothing. Don't play. So we're getting towards right now. Another grey arrow. Mo, blank. Tough week, I think. But I took out Ward-Prowse for 2 points. Brought in Bruno for 4. So that really, really panicky transfer got me an extra 2 points. And I think lesson 5, it's got to be about transfers. Now, I took a lot of hits I did take a lot of hits. And I don't think that has actually been negative against me. You can see I've taken more hits, 20 points more than other people. What's it say here? 84 points I've taken in hits this season. That's 20 points higher than the average. But it just feels like the hits I've taken are a lot higher up because they correlate with your score, right? Hits wasn't the problem, but some of the transfers, maybe more due diligence in transfers. Smarter. I know it's easy to say smarter transfers, right? But in terms of, I do have a membership to Fantasy Football Scout. And at the start of the season, I did use it. But I stopped using a lot of the stats for my own transfers and my own comparisons because I said this was a season I was going to be more fact-based, more stat-based. XG, heat maps, touches in the box, everything. I was like, right, less emotion, less emotional transfers. It takes time to get that out of your system because you guys have seen, I brought in Aguero. So first, about no emotion, I brought in Aguero and I brought in Gareth Bale. They were emotional transfers. There was nothing in the stats I saw. There was nothing in what I'd seen on the pitch or anything that I should have brought those players in. Right? Bringing Bale in for 1 point twice I brought in Bale and twice he got me 1 point. So it's easy to say smart transfers, and that was my problem because then later on I stopped using stats and I just kept using my own feelings and not comparing heat maps and touches. I stopped doing it because the start of the season was so bad for me. I sort of scrapped that idea, and that was a big problem. Because I should have gone back to it. Because if I did stick with that, things like XG or XA or touches in the box, I probably would have had a more successful season. But I was so rocked at the start of the season being, 4.4 million in game week 8, 2.7 million in game week 13. I was so rocked, and then I went to just gut instinct and I started going higher up the ranks. But yeah, I think if I'd have stuck with that idea. Matt, distinguishing who is a hype player and who isn't can be hard though, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. When I say smart transfers, it's so much easier to say than to actually do. But that's why I said doing more due diligence, right? Really checking on that player that you're bringing in is definitely better than the player that you're taking out. Because sometimes I don't think they are. Even earlier when we cast our minds back to, should we take a -4 for Chris Wood for Watkins? I would say no to that move, but I've ignored my own advice and I've made those moves. So the difference with a hype player, I completely understand, but really looking at a player and really thinking, is this player definitely, looking at the numbers, looking at the eye test, is this player really genuinely going to score higher than the player that's coming in? And I even said that in my preseason video, and it's something that I just ignored for myself, and I really shouldn't have. Before deadline, all play. Yeah, but Chris, so the mantra of my channel is don't get angry at the result or don't get disappointed at the result, only at the decision, right? Because you can't affect the result. If you've made a logical move for one player to another, you've said, look, he's had 20% more chances. He's had 28% more possession. He's had 8 more shots on target. He's touched the ball 25 more times. His heat map is 10 meters in front of the other guy. If you've got points like that and you make that move to the new guy and it doesn't pan out, you've made the correct decision. Right? That is still the lesson, the thing I always repeat on this channel is, don't get angry at the result, get angry at the decision, right? I don't even get angry, but don't kick yourself when you've made a certain move and it looked good on paper and it didn't pan out, because that's football, right? I mean, if football was played on paper, we'd all be gambling and we'd all make £1 million because we'd all know who would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There's loads of crazy things that happen in football. But just checking more, no emotional transfers, and really looking into, because it's the biggest decision you make every week, right, is choosing your 11 and choosing your captain. But the thing that affects your team the most will be your transfers that you make. And you only get one free one a week. I know a lot of the time I take hits and a lot of other people take hits. And taking a -4 for 2 transfers, you've got to, usually, I know this season's been different, but usually you've got a whole week to decide. And far too many times I know that I've woken up on a Monday or a Tuesday and I've just, been eating my breakfast and I whap out my app, open it up, and I select, my transfers. I've not looked at the stats. I've not looked at any heat maps. I've not looked at any touches in the box or shots on target or clean sheets or defensive fragility or team news or anything like that. So it's really just double checking, is this player going out genuinely not as good as the one coming in? So it's easy to say smart transfers, but there are ways to do smart transfers. And if you're pretty set on your 11 and you know who you kind of want to get rid of and you already know who you're going to be your captain is, then your time should be used really comparing who you've got in mind to who you've not. So even when we're talking about who we're going to bring in for, say, Bruno this game week, I need to have players lined up with facts and stats behind them, not just like what I did last week where I was like, I don't know, I've only got a minute left to deadline, I've been so busy, I've been so hectic, what am I going to do? Okay, Ward Prowse to Bruno. Right? I did think Willock was a good option and I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't do it. That's because life got in the way for that one. There's not a lot I can do about that. But yeah, saying smart transfers is easy to say, but it is still doable. Hey, Kifian. Hope your exam went well, mate. Not long left, mate. I've done my entire season review. 5 things. And some of these things I already made on my tip video for preseason. And again, I say it quite often that I think more about the advice I give to you guys. And it's more like I try and give good advice, and sometimes it is good, but I don't follow my own advice. I completely ignore my own advice because it's easy for me to say, if you want to make up 20 points in your mini league, you can't captain Salah. And even though we think he's going to be the highest captain player this game week, and even though we think he's going to get the most points, logically speaking, you can't captain Salah because his effective ownership is going to be too high. I can easily say that to you, but I'm still going to captain Mo Salah. My overall now is 140,000. Exam's okay. Last one before you go. Luca Dean to Trent or DCL to Bamford. I would do Dean to Trent. And the reason I said that earlier, Kifian, was because I don't think Pep has a history of not playing his strongest team just before a Champions League final. And I don't think City are going to play their strongest team. It's still going to be a great team. It's Manchester City. But Trent has got a much better chance of outscoring Luca Dean, I think, than Bamford has got a bigger chance of outscoring Calvert-Lewin. I still think Calvert-Lewin will get 2 points. Bamford might get an assist or a goal. I cannot see Luca Dean getting anything, but Trent can go ahead and get a clean sheet and an assist. So I would definitely lean towards that way. Yeah. So yeah, so the first thing looking back, start of the season, don't start with hype players. I started with Timo Werner. I started with Kai Havertz. I saw some YouTube compilations and I was like, oh wow, that's so good, they're amazing. Let's start the season with them. Don't. 2, make sure your bench is genuinely sorted. Don't just think about your 11 and smash out a 3-person bench. Properly do it. Properly look at your bench and really think, because you could go too deep. 2-player deep in your bench. Make sure it's organized. 3, don't be a coward. Back it. I even said ignore effective ownership. Back who you think will get the most points. Even if it goes against effective ownership, back who you think will score the highest, because that's the point, right? You try and get the most points, not do I have an effective ownership player. Aggressive in double game weeks. I was very successful when I attacked. I took a 12-point hit, but I still came up 23 points up. Attack big double game weeks, especially if, you know, a lot of single game week players out there don't have a good fixture. And 5, smarter transfers. Do more due diligence. Really look into stats and facts and eye tests, and don't use emotion. Don't do nostalgia picks. Don't make any decision transfer wise saying, I'll bring him in because I love him, or I'm never going to bring him because I hate him. Right? No emotional transfers. Stats, eye tests only. And really think, is this player going out? Not as good as the one coming in. So that's the last, that is the last stream, I think, of the season. I don't think I'll do a post one because I've just reviewed the whole season in this stream. It has been quite a big one, like an hour and a half. I might do some content, I think, for the Euros. It just depends on if I'm still doing online teaching, because COVID hit Taiwan now, so I'm teaching online, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm personally going to play the Euro 2020 Fantasy, so I hope we learned some things looking back at the season I've had. I've had some few highs, quite a lot of lows. Looking back, I would recommend you guys doing the same thing, because I thought, hey, my transfers have been pretty good this season, and I realized I've actually lost a lot of points on poor transfers. Don't punt on dumb differential captains for three weeks straight. But again, you never know. You never know. So yeah, hopefully you've learned some lessons. I'd recommend you guys going over your game weeks and having a look at, you know, what went well for you and what didn't go well for you, because you know, might pick up quite a few things. Some of these ideas I already did in a tip video before, but yeah, there you go, guys. That's going to be it for today and this season. So let's hopefully all go out with a bang. I said before, I'm probably going to captain Salah. I can't get rid of him. I'm not going to take a hit to get rid of him. Hey, join the EuroLeague. Good. So I'm just going to have to hope I pick up 20 points for everyone else. Meslier is not playing the next game, guys. Bielsa's come out and said Casilla's going to play it. So I'm hoping Forster plays, because I'm not going to take a transfer on a goalkeeper. So I might be going into the final game with 10 players. And I've got to hope that Salah does well, but also I've got to pick up 20 points everywhere else. I've got to hope a couple of my players bang, like Mane and Holding, and Iniacho. I hope they bang and try and make up 20 points. Team value at the beginning seems to be key. I would say that, but my team value, you can see, is 107, which is pretty decent team value. And it's not helped me at all. Points, not pounds. Another slogan for you guys there. All right, so hopefully learned some lessons, looking at some review stuff. Recommend you guys have a look at your own seasons as well, have some inner thoughts and feelings, and I might see you guys over the Euros, and hopefully it's coming home. That would be great. So take care, guys. I hope we have a good final game week, and I'll catch you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.